In this lesson, I want to show you one of my favorite turnaround moves. It's a walking bass line that turns your standard 5-4-1 turnaround into a 2-5-1 turnaround. And it goes like this. Okay, so usually on a 12-bar blues in E in this case, when you get to bar 9, you'd have a turnaround that starts on the 5 chord, goes to the 4 chord, and then back to 1. But in this case, we're going to go from the 2 chord, F sharp 7, to the 5 chord, B7, and then back to E, with all that usual kind of stuff. Right? And then we're going to put some licks on top of it. So the bass line is going F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, which is the root, second, flat third, and third of F sharp. And that just takes place over 4 beats. 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to keep walking up when we get to the B7. B, C sharp, D, and D sharp, or the root, second, flat third, and third of B7. So altogether, those 2 chords are going to sound like this. And then we're going to get to E. Now on top of that, we can put whatever blues licks we want. In this case, I'm just using notes of the major and minor pentatonic scale in E. So the flat third, root, second, and root, and then 6 and 5. So, and then flat 7 to 5, 6 to 5, and then back up to the flat third, root, 6, and root. So, over the F sharp, and then over the B7, and then we're back to E. And along the way, I'm also going to fill out the chord a little bit right when I'm on the downbeat of the F sharp chord and when I'm on the downbeat of the B7. So for this F sharp, I've got the root and the third of the F sharp, and then I've got these licks on top. So now, it's the thing about a walking bass line is you're not really holding down a chord. You're really just playing pretty much a single note except for that very first hit. So at any moment, you're just trying to grab the bass and whatever's happening on top. So here's a pinch, and then we go to the open high string. And now we've got the bass is on the 4th fret of the low string, and the melody is over here on top. And then everything's open. And then just these 2 notes. We got the A sharp in the bass, and we got the C sharp on top, going to an open string. So, and in the middle of that, we're going to grab this note here on the 3rd string, right on the downbeat. And then when we get to the B7, it's the same thing. At the most, we've got 2 notes to hold down. So starting off, we've got a B in the bass, and then 3rd fret on the 2nd string, going to the open string. Very similar shape here, more open strings, and then, and when you slow it down, it sounds kind of dissonant and weird, but in context, it's going to sound pretty good. And so on this B7, when we make that first downbeat, we're going to include 2nd fret on the 3rd string to kind of fill out the B7 chord. Which brings us back to the E. So together, those 2 measures will sound like this. Which if we then put in context, if we're on an E chord, the turnaround, instead of going to B7, we're going to go to F sharp and then the B, which leaves us right at the beginning of the turnaround for measures 11 and 12. So all together, if we're playing a blues in E, so there it is, one of my favorite walking bass turnarounds, and you can drop it in anywhere you've got a 5-4-1 turnaround in bars 9 and 10 of a 12-bar blues in E. And if you'd like to learn more turnarounds, more bass lines, more blues licks, and how to put them together when you're playing on fingerstyle blues tunes in keys like E and A, 8-bar blues, 12-bar blues, traditional blues, contemporary blues, check out my membership, the Fingerstyle 5, where you can sign up and learn tunes like Key to the Highway and Trouble in Mind and St. James Infirmary, and how to create complete instrumental arrangements of the entire tune, along with improvisation and intros and outros and all that kind of stuff. So check that out. And if you've got a question about today's lesson, leave it for me down below. I would love to hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.